Welcome back to Clippers and Conversations. Today we're having a conversation about Clippers. I want to talk about what I look at when I'm buying Clippers, when I'm shopping for Clippers. What I have today right here is the Stylecraft Mythic. This is probably like my fourth or fifth time buying this Clipper. It's just that good. Um, my message today is don't get caught up in the hype. It's a lot of Clippers coming out, but you want to know what to look for. You don't want to buy stuff just because you like the color of it and just because that's what everybody's talking about on YouTube. Um, the first thing I like to look at when I buy clippers is the RPMs. This clipper right here, it has, as you can see, 10,000 RPMs. That's just showing how fast that blade moves back and forth, um, and that has a lot to do with the power of the clipper and your performance. When you have a good, strong clipper like that, it allows you the ability to move fast. You don't want to move quicker than your clipper. And you'll be able to just hit it and keep it moving, and that's how you can produce those 20-minute fades, 30-minute fades, and still have excellent quality. Um, Another thing this clipper has is good battery life. That's another thing you want to check for. Um, I believe it's rated for 3 hours. Is it? It should be on here. Let me see. See what the battery life is on here. Yeah, so it says 3 hour continuous runtime. I usually get through the whole day with putting it back on the charger between each cut. Um, and then it has a click lever if you're into that. It has, the ability to put the stretch bracket on. What that does, it allows you to get more out of that blade. You can stretch the fade a little further. Um, and it has a low noise. So that's another thing I care about more so now than I used to. Once you get a quiet clipper, it's hard to go back to loud clippers. But yeah, just don't get caught up in the hype. I'm gonna show these to y'all. These are the only clippers, or I'll just say these are my favorite clippers. I'll say that as far as performance. And I usually try everything that come out just so I can know for myself. As you can see, like right now, I've been using the play clippers because they're like a real popular clipper. They don't claim to be the best clipper, but they are the best value clipper. You get a lot for your money, brand new with these clippers. But now these are $120 or $125 around that on Amazon. So now, I mean, pick between the two. I'd rather go with these if I'm gonna buy new clippers. The best thing about these to me is how quiet they are. See, I have them turned on right now. You probably can barely hear them, but these are pretty quiet too. They're a tad bit louder, but I wouldn't say that as loud. You know, uh, the only thing that I could see somebody complaining about with these clippers is the weight. I personally prefer heavy clippers because I like the quality feel. I like that premium feel. I started barbering 15 years ago, and at the time, the Andes Masters was the best clipper on the market, and they are heavy clippers. So I got real accustomed to that weight. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna show y'all how these perform. Also, what I want to show y'all too is when you buy your clippers, the first thing you want to do is adjust that blade. I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but I set that blade to be not zero gap, not flush, but it's dang near zero gap. Uh, I don't really like setting my blades flush like that because that's how you nick people. You want to be careful with that. So what you do is you're gonna loosen those screws up, and you just then you set the blade to the closed position. And then you push that blade up as close as you can get it without it being flush. Some people will tell you to set it flush. I don't recommend that. And then what you want to do is you want to throw your guards on, or just throw a guard on, and make sure the blade isn't scrubbing against that guard. If it is, you want to reset it again and fix that. This also comes with a stretch bracket, like I mentioned. I always put my stretch brackets on when they come with the clippers. Um, And then I took my click lever off. I don't like the click levers. So I'm gonna give like a little haircut tutorial. I'm gonna show y'all how these perform. Then y'all let me know what y'all like in the comments. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a burst fade. I like to break down my haircuts into 5 steps. Step 1 will be consultation. Step 2 will be setting the foundation. Step 3 will be setting the guidelines. Step 4 will be blending, and step 5 will be detailing. We don't have to do the consultation today because this is my son. So I'm telling him what he's getting today. He's getting a burst fade. So now all we gotta do is set the foundation for this cut. So, and as you can see, there's already somewhat of a foundation set because I've done this cut on him before. But for the sake of teaching, what you want to do is when you set your foundation, you want to first comb through the hair. Lift your head up. This will be a good lesson on how to cut kids' hair too. It's really important to have a system down when you're dealing with kids. That way you don't waste time. You want to do what you got to do and keep it moving. All right, once you comb through it for this haircut, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start my 2-guard. Since I know he's getting a burst fade, the only area I'm cutting down is this area with the 2. So first I'm gonna go open. Before you use your clippers, you do want to make sure they're fully charged so you don't mess up your battery. I did charge these the night before, then I put them back in the box. This will be the first cut I'm using these on. But like I said, this is my favorite clipper. I just keep buying the same clipper because I haven't found anything yet that outperforms it. The numbers don't lie. It's 10,000 RPMs. I am going to try the Play Go clipper when they drop again. I wasn't able to get my hands on them the first time, but I was looking at the numbers on those. They look pretty good. So once I get those, I'll let y'all know. So I move my clipper down to the closed position. And you do, it's possible that you might have to go back and make adjustments with your blade. This is my first cut with them. If I see something that I don't like with it during this cut, at the end I'll go back and make my little adjustments. So when you're setting your burst fade, what you want to do is when you set your guidelines, that's going to be your next step. What you want to do is do a curve right here, a curve guideline right here. This will be a little different than what you normally do. It's possible that some people set their guidelines further out, but it depends on what you want. I like to still see that this hook right here when I do my burst fades. So this is the reason I'm setting my guideline this way. That's why they call it a burst fade, because the fade gives the appearance of bursting out. So boom. So that's that for your first line. We're gonna go to the other side and make it match. To keep this video short though, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna show y'all the fade. I'm gonna just do this one side, just keep the video short. So what you're gonna do, assuming you did it on your other side, now we're gonna go to the next line. You set Pin your clipper in the open position. And then I'm gonna start our blending process. That'll be step 4. What you're doing is you start from your highest guard, and then you blend your way down. That's called fading down. So I know my highest guard is a 2. I'm starting my 2. Start my 2 closed. Since I already know I did the 2 open over here. Once I see it's not cutting anything, I know I can move on to my next lowest guard. That'll be a 1.5. Then you're just gonna work your way like that. Work your way down. Yeah, you're gonna be constantly moving that lever. When I have my higher guards on, I like to go from completely opening to completely closed. I don't have to worry too much about the in-between with my higher guards. All right, that's that for that guard. Then we go down to the 1 guard. Start open. But yeah, when you go about clippers, look at those RPMs. Don't get so caught up in the height. And it's not only about RPMs. That has something to do with the blade too. Look at the type of blade they're using. But I just highly recommend everybody try this clipper first. It's only $125. Like, if I'm wrong, you can come in the comments and tell me I'm wrong. But you got to use it first before you tell me I'm wrong. See, me, I try many different clippers, and like I'm saying, there hasn't been a clipper yet to outperform this clipper. But we're just talking about performance. We're not talking about how heavy it is and none of that. So now I'm on my 0. Same thing. This is when you're gonna start doing more your lever play. This is why I prefer to have the non-click lever on my clipper. I like to be able to move that lever freely. There's nothing wrong with it if you prefer it. I'm not knocking it. It's just that's not how I like to operate. Because I do have the clip lever on my play clippers. I do get annoyed by it, that clicking noise and stuff, but I understand. Got to get with the times. That's like the new wave now. All right. When dealing with kids, you make sure you have you got to have that your free hand holding their head because they like to move a lot. They're real unpredictable, so you have that other hand on their head. It lets you know when they do like a sudden movement, you know to stop cutting. Don't avoid kids cuts though. I know there's a lot of barbers that dodge kid cuts. For one, that's money. 2, it just it helps you develop as a barber. I started out doing all the kids cuts. You just don't want to be that type of person that's just dodging work like that. If you learn how to cut it right, you should be done and within like 20 minutes. They have a smaller head. The expectations aren't as high because parents they know their kids move a lot. So now we got no guard. Using the corner of that blade. And if you want more detailed on these steps, you can go watch some of my other videos. It's the same steps. The only thing that's different about this burst fade is how we set the guidelines. But the way we blend it out, same way. Knock out that bottom line. Those play clippers, though, they are the most quiet clippers I ever used. And that's why I ended up purchasing those, because I know I was going to do the YouTube content. And then I got tired of hearing my clippers buzzing in the microphone and stuff. So, and they are some great clippers, don't get me wrong. They just don't outperform these clippers. You know, you can't really argue about that. The only reason I could see somebody wanting lower RPMs on their clippers is maybe it's more forgiving or something like that. Well, outside of that, I really don't understand. And I feel like these clippers didn't get enough love when they dropped. So I figured people just didn't know about them, you know, because they don't come in like a fruity color or nothing like that. But yeah, you can find these on Amazon, these Stylecraft Mythics. I'm not sponsored in any way. This is just my honest opinion. I see this little dark spot right here that I'm gonna get. All right, that's that. Next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna throw my line on it. It's gonna be a detailing phase. So these are the liners I'm using. So just like with the clippers, when I zero gap it, I don't put the blade flush. Like that's how you be biting clients and stuff like that. What I do is I like to have it a fingernail length, so I can tug it like that. If you do like that, and your fingernail slides right over that blade is too flush. It should snatch like that. That's a pro tip right there. A lot of people making these videos showing y'all to make it flush. That's not how you want your clipper. You want to have like it's a real tad bit of space on there. I don't know if y'all can see it in there. But yeah. So what I typically do is I don't use anything but my eyeball. I eyeball it when I take the blade off, and I set that clipper, I set that blade just close enough. Then I test it. What you want to do is you test it on your arm. If it hurts your arm, you don't want to put it on somebody's face. You shouldn't feel anything. And then once you test it on a person, you see if they hit. And as you can see, they hit. So your blades don't have to be really zero gap. They don't have to be flush to cut good. Okay, you don't want to be causing people pain in your chair, you know. Especially when you're dealing with kids too. A lot of people say I got a pair for my kids and I got a pair of clippers for my adults. But my message today is that, you know, adults feel pain too. You know, you don't want to be biting nobody with your clippers. So what we doing there is just knocking out that little bit of hair I left when we set the guidelines. go ahead and hit that line right there. Oh, sorry. So yeah, hitting this line right here. Sorry if I don't keep them in the camera. Sometimes I forget to make sure it's still in frame. Okay, there we go. So y'all can see that coming together. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna clean this up just a tad bit, and that'll be it for the fade. I'm gonna throw this side of this line up. So the way his hairs grow, you gotta kind of create a line for him. I mean, I could keep it natural down here, but it's not gonna look as good, in my opinion. So if you do feel like you gotta push somebody back to make the line good, make sure you just communicate that with them. Like I said, this is my son, so I had the authority to make that decision. It's real important to be able to hit it and move on when dealing with kids. I'm gonna show y'all something else real quick too before we go. Something that you should invest in if you haven't already. So I recommend having 2 sets of liners, right? Have another set with a small blade on it. See the size of that blade? In comparison to that blade. So have you another pair of hitters, right? Set it up the same way I told you. And the reason for that is when you're dealing with kids or even some adults that have eyebrows now, that have the smaller space between their line and their eyebrows, you don't want that big blade because then you can accidentally cut into the eyebrow if you're not paying attention. So have your pair of hitters you can pull out to hit that corner. So I bought these clippers just for that one purpose. Yeah, you can have it on the same pair of clippers too. Just have just a different blade, same clipper, different blade. So that's all we're doing for that corner. I'm gonna clean this curve up. If y'all want a complete haircut tutorial on this haircut, just let me know in the comments. I could do a complete tutorial on this kind of cut. The main focus of this video is just showing y'all the clippers and showing y'all how they work. These don't run hot or anything. But yeah, this pretty much concludes this tutorial. That's really all I want to show y'all. What you'll do is you just do the same thing on the other side, and then we're gonna clean up the top and all that. What I'll do, I'll put a picture of the complete cut on the thumbnail. Y'all like this kind of content? Please subscribe. Please like. Please comment. Let me know what y'all think. Let me know what y'all think about these clippers. Let me know if y'all tried them yet or not, and let me know what y'all do to set y'all blades up. Peace.